Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. What if humanity suddenly gained complete control over all the energy available on Earth? Right now, our civilization uses only a tiny fraction of the planet's potential energy. But today, we're going to look at the roadmap to planetary mastery and how harnessing all of Earth's energy could elevate us to a completely new stage of evolution. Just imagine a future where we become a Type 1 civilization on the Kardashev scale. We'd be capable of harnessing the power of oceans, storms, sunlight, and geothermal forces with near-perfect efficiency. Energy shortages could disappear entirely, poverty might be drastically reduced, and technologies that seem literally impossible today could become just a normal part of everyday life. We're talking flying cities, weather control systems, and massive planetary engineering projects that could reshape the world beyond recognition. But to understand how we actually get there, we first need to look at how astrophysicists measure progress. And this brings us to the foundation of our journey, the Kardashev scale. Proposed by Soviet astrophysicist Nikolai Kardashev back in 1964, this scale does something really interesting. It completely ignores the things we usually think of as progress, like politics, historical events, or who the current leaders are. Instead, it measures a civilization's technological advancement based purely on its raw energy consumption. To physicists, true cosmic power is really all about how many watts of energy you can reliably extract and use. The sheer scale of this cosmic energy ladder is absolutely staggering. A Type 1, or planetary civilization, harnesses all the energy of its home planet, which is about 10 to the 16th power watts. A Type 2 civilization controls an entire star, making a massive jump to 10 to the 26 watts, perhaps by encasing it in a giant energy-harvesting megastructure like a Dyson sphere. And then there's a Type 3 civilization, which harnesses the power of an entire galaxy at 10 to the 36 watts. The legendary astronomer Carl Sagan later extrapolated this into a sliding scale so we could figure out exactly where humanity currently sits. And here is our current score, 0.73. We aren't even a Type 1 civilization yet. Actually, scratch that. We are essentially a Type 0. We still get the vast majority of our energy by digging up dead plants, like coal and oil, and just burning them. We only use about 10 to the 13th watts of power, which means we have a really long way to go before we reach the threshold of true planetary mastery. But as theoretical physicist Michio Kaku points out, we're already seeing the birth pangs of a Type 1 civilization all around us. The internet? It's essentially the beginning of a Type 1 global telephone system. We're seeing the rise of standardized global cultures, global economies, and global languages. The very foundations for a unified planet are being laid right now as we speak. So the crucial point is, how do we actually cross the finish line? Well, there's an exact 5-step technological roadmap humanity must overcome. We have to capture limitless power, distribute it globally, actively control our biosphere and climate, expand our heavy industry into space, and finally, build a planetary defense grid to protect our home. Before we continue, if you're enjoying these mind-bending future scenarios, make sure to like this explainer, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Last Human Era for more incredible journeys into the future. Let's get into the steps. Step 1. Harvesting planetary energy. To even get close to becoming a Type 1 civilization, we have to completely transition away from our unsustainable reliance on fossil fuels. Beyond maximizing wind, sunlight, and hydroelectric power, the absolute holy grail of our new energy portfolio is nuclear fusion. Get this, by fusing just 280 kilograms of hydrogen into helium every single second, we could meet the entire Type 1 energy requirement. And the best part? The isotopes needed for this fusion are found abundantly in regular seawater. We essentially have a limitless energy supply just sitting in our oceans that could power humanity over geological timescales. And it's not just the oceans. Deep beneath our feet, our planet's core is a massive nuclear engine all by itself. The Earth naturally transfers approximately 44 terawatts of geothermal heat to the surface. Tapping into this incredible, largely unused planetary energy source will be a major milestone in our Type 1 evolution. Step 2. Distributing and utilizing the power. Now, generating the power is really only half the battle. To handle this massive influx of energy, we'll need to build a planetary supergrid. Imagine an intelligent global network utilizing room temperature superconductors. This would allow electricity to travel thousands of miles with absolutely zero energy loss. This entire grid would be managed by advanced AI that balances power across the globe in real time, instantly rerouting energy around damaged sectors. In a fully realized Type 1 society, large-scale blackouts literally become impossible. And with all that perfectly distributed power, we can build a Type 1 global thermostat. Look at this comparison. Today, we're entirely reactive, suffering from climate damage and excess carbon. But in a Type 1 future, we actively manage the biosphere. We'd use massive carbon capture systems to clean the atmosphere and giant orbital radiators to safely beam excess waste heat from all our power plants straight into space. We could literally weaken hurricanes before they hit the coast or bring rain to drought-stricken deserts. Climate disasters could potentially be prevented entirely. Step 3. Controlling Earth's mechanics. This brings us to a requirement of planetary mastery that sounds like pure science fiction, but it's grounded in real geological research. See those oceanic ridges? They're 80,000-kilometer-long submarine mountain chains where the Earth's tectonic plates physically pull apart. Scientists like Michio Kaku and Milan Cherkovich have proposed that a true Type 1 civilization must be able to control the very crust of its planet. And this is exactly how we do it. The research shows there are about 10 terawatts of geothermal energy available right at these deep-sea oceanic ridges. If our future engineering is advanced enough to harvest that massive amount of heat, we wouldn't just be generating clean power. By actively cooling the ridges, we could slow down seafloor spreading. This means we could physically reduce crustal movement, potentially delaying or even eliminating large earthquakes entirely. We'd literally be taming the mechanics of the Earth. Step 4. The dangers of transition. As humanity gains more power, new challenges would undoubtedly emerge. Wielding this level of planetary power carries immense societal risks. As Michio Kaku notes here, the march toward a unified planetary society often faces severe backlash. He states that fundamentalism and terrorism are, in a sense, a violent reaction against the creation of a Type 1 civilization, a fierce resistance against moving toward a globally integrated scientific society. The transition period is inherently unstable, as old tribal factions clash with planetary unification. Furthermore, these technologies are a massive double-edged sword. Think about it. If we possess a global thermostat, who gets to decide where it rains? If we can move a rainstorm from a wealthy nation to a developing one, or vice versa, who makes that call? Nations might compete fiercely for control over these advanced technologies, and a single mistake could have planet-wide consequences. Step 5. When will we arrive? Navigating the politics will probably be just as hard as the physics, which leads to the ultimate question. When do we actually get there? According to the Kardashev scale projections, arriving at Type 1 kicks off an incredible timeline of subphases. We start with the hydrogen age of cheap, abundant fusion. Then we move into the imagination age, where highly immersive virtual realities and cybernetic augmentations completely redefine society. Followed by the bioethical age, dealing with incredible leaps in genetic engineering and human longevity. But when does this all start? Well, there are two prominent projections. Michio Kaku optimistically estimates we could hit Type 1 status in just 100 years. However, a recent, very rigorous study factored in physical limitations. They found that if we try to reach Type 1 by simply burning all our remaining fossil fuels, the resulting climate damage would destroy us first. Factoring in strict climate and pollution limitations, they project humanity will safely reach Type 1 status by the year 2371. And when we finally do, the daily reality of a post-scarcity Type 1 utopia will be simply breathtaking. As we discussed, climate disasters could potentially be prevented, deserts transformed into forests, and entire regions redesigned to support billions more people. We could see extinct species recreated from DNA. Our heavy, polluting industries would be moved entirely off-world, with autonomous drones mining asteroids way out in the Kuiper Belt. And a massive planetary defense grade of lasers would protect us from any incoming asteroids. In the end, becoming a Type 1 civilization wouldn't just change our technology, it would completely redefine what it means to be human and mark the beginning of a completely new era in our species' history. It's not just some sci-fi high score, it's the ultimate requirement for humanity's long-term survival, moving us from a fragile, competing species to a mature, unified planet. The physics allows it. The technology is within our reach. The only true obstacle left is humanity itself. With so much power in human hands, one question becomes absolutely unavoidable. Would humanity use it wisely, or would our greatest achievement become our greatest threat? But if humanity had the power to control the entire planet, do you think we would create a paradise or make bigger mistakes than ever before?
Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if these future possibilities fascinate you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because every week we explore the most incredible futures humanity